On yesterday's video, a comment was posted discussing whether or not the weapon triangle will be returning in Three Houses. Now, today I want to come to a conclusion as to whether or not Fire Emblem Three Houses should have the weapon triangle, and if it does return, how it should be implemented. The weapon triangle is a mechanic in most Fire Emblem games that helps or hurts the player depending on the player unit's equipped weapon and the enemy's equipped weapon. The buffs or debuffs are always accuracy based, but in some games it also has a slight effect on the amount of damage dealt. In every instance of the weapon triangle, swords beat axes, axes beat lances, and lances beat swords. There is usually a magic weapon triangle as well, but the way that one works varies from game to game. Finally, bows do not factor into the weapon triangle except for in Fates. It's also worth mentioning that Fire Emblem Heroes has a unique take on the weapon triangle, where it does away with the changed accuracy and only adds or subtracts damage. To answer the question of should the weapon triangle return in Three Houses, we first need to take a brief look at the previous games to get a feel for the purpose of the weapon triangle. In its first appearance in Fire Emblem Genealogy of the Holy War, the weapon triangle makes a huge difference of 20 points of hit. This doesn't hurt the player all that much when in disadvantage, but often hurts the CPU so much that they become a non-issue. The original inclusion of the weapon triangle seems to be a handicap to help players. Later entries in the series have made an attempt to balance the weapon triangle to make it matter enough while not hurting the player too much when they do not use the weapon triangle to its fullest. It's my opinion that Intelligent Systems has failed at this time and time again until they struck gold in Shadow Dragon. Fire Emblem Shadow Dragon has a variable weapon triangle. The weapon rank of the unit in advantageous position affects the bonuses received and the debuffs inflicted. If the weapon rank is E or D, then there is only a 5% bonus or penalty to hit. If the rank is C or B, then the bonus is 10%. Finally, if the weapon rank of the unit in advantage is A, the bonus is plus 10 hit and plus 1 damage dealt. This allowed the developers to scale the effectiveness of the triangle to the difficulty curve of the game and to the difficulty level selected. This same system was utilized in Awakening and Fates, though the numbers were tweaked a bit and Fates added S-rank bonuses and penalties. This scaling can put the player and enemy on equal footing. The player may generally have better stats, but it is easy for developers of the game to put a higher weapon rank on the enemy to level the playing field a bit. It simply makes the weapon triangle matter more in the long run, compared to other games that treated the weapon triangle like an afterthought. So, should the weapon triangle return in Three Houses? Yes, but under these specific conditions. Number 1, the weapon triangle needs to build on the Shadow Dragon formula of a variable bonus and penalty system. Number 2, on harder difficulties, enemies need to be given higher weapon ranks than the player where possible to make careful consideration of the weapon triangle important to a successful battle. Well, that will do it for me today. Do you think that Three Houses should implement a weapon triangle? If so, how should it work? Let me know in the comments. And as always, make sure to subscribe for more Fire Emblem discussion.